LA police chases have completely taken over my YouTube feed. And honestly, I'm addicted. Every time a getaway car pulls ahead, the cops reel them back in like it's the Need for Speed rubber band AI. And that got me thinking, when did police cars get this fast? I thought it was all about horsepower, but behind the scenes, cops are secretly upgrading their machines with cutting-edge tech and near-indestructible builds. But with criminals getting bolder than ever, are these upgrades enough to keep up? Let's dig in. To learn how we got here, let's rewind to the early days. Back when cops were basically chasing bad guys in Grandma's Sunday driver. In the early 20th century, police departments weren't rolling around in high-performance pursuit vehicles. Most of them just took regular civilian cars, made it go wee-woo, and called it a day. If you were a cop in the 1920s, your squad car was probably a Ford Model A. Top speed? A blistering 65 miles per hour. It was fine for catching jaywalkers, but against criminals, not so much. And criminals? They were the original tuners. Bootleggers running illegal alcohol during Prohibition weren't just stocking up on moonshine. They were modding their cars for speed. These guys took regular Fords, beefed up the engines, reinforced the frames, and stripped out any unnecessary weight. The result? A car that could hit 80, maybe even 90 miles per hour, way faster than anything the police had. By the 60s, muscle cars ruled the streets. Chargers, GTOs, Mustangs, with V8 engines and insane acceleration. Bank robbers loved them. The Dodge Charger, for example, could hit 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds, while cops were still stuck in bulky sedans. A total mismatch. So yeah, the early days of police chases, not exactly in the cops' favor, but that was about to change. By the 1970s, law enforcement weren't playing around. If criminals were treating the streets like a racetrack, cops needed cars that could actually keep up. Enter the powerhouse era, when cop cars went from patrol vehicles to specialized pursuit machines. Back in the 70s, police departments started demanding high-performance models specifically built for law enforcement. The Dodge Monaco was one of the first to step up. This thing wasn't just a cop car, it was a show of force.
Nice.
It packed a monstrous 7.2-liter V8 engine, making criminals know who they were up against.
Holy, look at all this damage!
It had heavy-duty cooling systems, reinforced suspensions, and the kind of raw power that meant cops finally had a fighting chance in high-speed chases. No more watching criminals disappear into the distance. The 80s and 90s brought stealth power. Police cars ditched the action movie look and blended into traffic. Normal sedans on the outside, screamers under the hood. The Chevrolet Caprice ruled this era, packing a V8 built for long patrols and high-speed chases. Cops realized the best way to catch criminals? Stay unnoticed until it was too late.
Okay.
And then we get to the legend. If you grew up in the 90s or 2000s, you already know the Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor P71. You would instantly recognize it in your rear view.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
This thing was built like a tank. It had a 4.6-liter V8 that could push it to around 140 miles per hour. Not the fastest, but fast enough. Pit maneuvers, and rack up hundreds of thousands of miles without breaking a sweat. If a criminal thought they could just wait it out in a long chase, they were in for a nasty surprise. With 475-mile range on a full tank, this thing could outlast just about anything on the road. By the end of the 90s, police cars weren't just faster. They were smarter, tougher, and better equipped than ever.
Hey, that's pretty good.
But modern police pursuit vehicles are built differently. For them, every day is track day. Aside from the raw power, there's reinforced chassis and brakes. Ever seen a police chase where the cops pull off that perfect pit maneuver? That's not just skill, that's engineering. Police cars have frame reinforcements that let them take and dish out hard hits without falling apart. And their brakes? Massive, high-performance discs designed to bring a speeding 4,500-pound car to a stop fast. If a cop has to slam the brakes from 140 miles per hour to 0, they need a system that won't fade after a couple of hard stops, like a regular car's would. Of course, none of this would work without heavy-duty cooling and suspension. High-speed chases aren't just about speed, they're about endurance. A police car can't just go fast, it has to stay fast. That's why these vehicles come with larger radiators, oil coolers, and transmission coolers to keep everything from overheating, even in long pursuits that last 20-plus minutes. And the suspension? Reinforced shocks, stiffer springs, and upgraded sway bars mean they can take sharp turns at high speeds without losing control. And then we have the real game changer, Pursuit Mode.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yep, modern police cars are programmed differently too. Some models, like the Ford Police Interceptor Utility, aka the Cop Explorer, and the Chevy Tahoe PPV, both come with special police-calibrated traction control and throttle response. When an officer slams on the gas, the car knows it's a pursuit and shifts its power delivery to give maximum acceleration, faster gear changes, and even an adjusted fuel mix for better top-end speed. Some modern models can hit 150 plus miles per hour, which is insane when you realize these are full-size four-door sedans and SUVs built to haul gear and officers, not just go fast.
Now, I'm really mad.
At the end of the day, a police car isn't just a faster version of a normal car, it's a completely different breed of machine. It's built to chase, built to fight, and built to win. But even with all these specialized upgrades, police departments aren't just sticking to traditional pursuit vehicles anymore. They're rolling out some of the fastest, most high-tech police cars we've ever seen.
Oh my.
First up, the Dodge Charger Pursuit. Equipped with a 5.7-liter Hemi V8, it cranks out over 370 horsepower. And for those tricky terrains or unpredictable weather conditions, there's an all-wheel drive option. This unit ensures that law enforcement can maintain control and speed no matter the circumstances. Next up, let's talk about the 2025 Ford Police Interceptor Utility. Don't be misled by the utility tag. This SUV is a speedster. Under the hood, it cops a 3.0-liter EcoBoost 6-cylinder engine that churns out 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque.
How?
This thing propels the Interceptor from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds, edging out the BMW X5, which features a 375 horsepower turbocharged inline-six. For those who believe bigger is better, there's the Chevrolet Tahoe Police Pursuit Vehicle. It has a 5.3-liter Ecotec 8-cylinder engine with 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. Now, let's talk stealth. Police departments are stepping up their game with unmarked sleeper vehicles that blend into traffic but pack serious performance. Agencies are deploying models like the Chevrolet Camaro, Ford Mustang, and even the Tesla Model S Plaid to catch speedsters off guard. The Chevrolet Camaro, particularly the B4C Special Service Package, has been a favorite among law enforcement. Equipped with a 5.7-liter V8 engine producing 275 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque, this beast can hit 60 miles per hour in just 5.7 seconds and reach a top speed of 159 miles per hour. Cops have been rocking Mustangs since the 80s, and North Carolina's troopers just brought the tradition back with the 2024 Mustang GT. V8 power for high-speed chases. Then there's the Tesla Model S Plaid. Because why not give cops a 1,020 horsepower rocket that hits 60 miles per hour in under 2 seconds? If you thought outrunning the law was tough before, try doing it against a silent missile with instant torque. Speaking of Teslas, EVs are taking over. The Model 3 Performance is proving you can be fast, eco-friendly, and terrifying all at once. South Pasadena even went all in, launching the first fully electric police fleet with 20 Teslas. And the future? Lucid Motors is cooking up the Lucid Air Pursuit, an EV cruiser built just for law enforcement. But here's where things get interesting.
For it. Here it comes. Almost there.
The next generation of getaway cars isn't just about raw horsepower. It's about fearless driving. Because as fast as police cars have become, some criminals have figured out that outrunning isn't always as effective as outmaneuvering. Take the Rolls-Royce Phantom Escape in Los Angeles in 2023. This wasn't some souped-up muscle car, it was a $450,000 luxury land yacht, packing a 6.75-liter twin-turbo V12 with 563 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque. A 5,400-pound behemoth. The chase tore through LA from Arcadia to the 110 freeway before the driver pulled the ultimate magic trick, ducking into a downtown parking garage and vanishing. No trace, no recovery, just gone. And then you have the squeeze Benz phenomenon in NYC. Drivers weaving through tight urban traffic, threading between cars at insane speeds, squeezing through gaps most people wouldn't dare to attempt. So, what do you think? Are we still in an era where speed wins the chase, or is the future all about fearless maneuvering? Let me know in the comments, because one thing's for sure. The high-speed pursuit game is evolving, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Subscribe and like for more car content.